Flight simulator peripherals are abundant, and there are many companies out there tackling all kinds of products. You've got big names like Wing, you've got Wingflex, of course, Thrustmaster, and fill in the blank here. Well, today we've got another name for another company that's decided to tackle the Airbus fleet specifically. We're talking about Rowsfire, and we're looking at the A107 A320 Pro / A320 Max light overhead panel version 2.0. Now, quick side note, I don't know if their marketing team got a little confused here by calling the A320 Pro or / A320 Max. I don't know if they meant Neo and they're confusing the 7.3 Max. However, that is not up to me to determine. That's going to be something that I can discuss with them behind the scenes. But anyways, guys, we're talking about a nifty little compact overhead panel. You guys know that there's various people out there doing it. I know that Wingflex has got one in the works that we haven't seen just quite yet. And I believe Scalarchy already has a couple of their products out there. And we actually got to work with them this past weekend at the Sim Gaming Expo. Anyways, guys, so what does the A107 offer? Well, we're talking about an aluminum alloy frame. It has adjustable backlighting, a 5-minute setup, and I even argue that it's even quicker. So it's a great little nifty add-on for those of you that are enthusiasts with the fly-by-wire, the Phoenix, and other flight sim franchise Airbus aircraft. So one of the things that I'm enjoying right now that I really love, and you'll see on the unboxing video, is that you get a free stand included with your overhead panel. That's right. Because they're celebrating their grand opening of their store, you get a free stand with every A107 panel purchase. Secondly, the tactile feedback, tactile switches with real aircraft-like travel, makes cold and dark start to feel authentic, just like the A320 cockpit. Seamless compatibility. It is powered by MobiFlight, and you guys will see in this video how I load one of the profiles specifically for this panel and the Phoenix A320, and how simple it is to press run and have it seamlessly integrate without having to spend hours programming the entire panel. It works with the Phoenix, fly-by-wire, and the AnyBuilds A320 with stable PCB performance for lag-free flights. Space-saving design, it's very compact. They've got their dimensions here on the website listed as 26 by 21 by 3 centimeters. And the beauty of it is that if you choose to go with a monitor arm, it does have the VESA capability at 100 by 100 millimeters. That is the configuration. And best of all, you've got one USB-C cable to do it all. All right, guys, so let's jump right in. Let's go look at some unboxing portions of this video, and then we'll jump into the sim for a really quick and simple startup from a cold and dark. It will just be battery power, APU, GPU, and then we're gonna do a few demos of the light switches in one. Okay, guys, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna jump right in. This is Captain Gonzo with that Flight Sim channel. Alright guys, here we go. We've got the box right here, the Rowsfire A107 Max overhead. Now again, I don't know if Max, if they're talking about the module just being the Max, or if they got confused with the 737 Max. As you can see, the box came to us a bit beat up, so kind of further confirms that this is more than likely a demo unit, and that's perfectly fine. Now you will excuse me because I've already unboxed this before. However, when I looked at the footage, unfortunately, it was not in the right format, so I'm having to redo this once again for the video. So let's just jump straight into it. There we go. I'm going to set it up here, try to keep it in the center of that frame. Let me just swing this open. All right, well, there we go. I brought along the entire foam, which is not what I wanted, but I digress. Okay, let's put this piece of foam off to the side. So here is that QR code that I will be mentioning in this video. So this takes you straight to the Rowsfire drive, and then you can find your MobiFlight profile and other useful information. So make sure when you get your product, if you do purchase one, you scan this and check it out, okay? Here is pretty much a README, just a physical copy, and it shows you how to set up everything and get it set up for your first flight. We're gonna put this off to the side now. So here is one of my favorite things that this package includes, and I wish every manufacturer and hardware producer out there would do the same.
There you go, guys. You have a base. And I love how ergonomic and simple it is. You can see that it is padded along the backrest here. You can see these like rubber pads. And then the same thing down here where the actual unit will be resting. Now, it is a bit flimsy right now because it is not put together, but all you do is kind of set up your base as such, and then you select what angle you want to be at, and all you do is hook up those legs to those slots as such. But let's get it out of the way. You guys get the idea. Here is the actual overhead package. Now, like I mentioned, since I've already opened this up before, the USB-C cable that's included, it's already hooked up to my USB hub, so I'm not gonna just bring it in for the purpose of the video. You guys know what a USB cable looks like right now. Let's toss this to the side. And again, let's take a close look here at that overhead panel. You can see the knobs right here. You can actually hear them click. Now right here, the light switches, you can see how flimsy they feel. They're nice though. They do have good tactile feel. There's an audible click, and you can really detect the difference between each position. The same can be said about these 3D printed rotary knobs, right? Or dials. And then here's that dial for the overhead integrated lighting. It feels very good. Let's take a look behind so I can show you that VESA mount capability. You've got your 4 holes right here, and these are 100 by 100 millimeter. Okay, so very compact. You can see I'm holding them here. I can almost reach my thumbs across. So this is probably about a good, I'd say maybe 12 inches across. I know I mentioned the dimensions in centimeters, but we're in the United States, we're lazy. We go by inches, and I just don't feel like doing the math right now to convert. So taking a look up close here, you can see the light switches, right? Like I mentioned, they are flimsy, so if you hit them in the wrong position, you're gonna have all kinds of funky looking switches. Now, that is my gripe here with this panel, right? Right off the bat, the quality feels okay, right? And I know that classic mantra of you get what you pay for. So obviously we didn't pay a cent for this. This was sent to us to be reviewed by Rowsfire. But for starters, I think it's an excellent kit. Now I have noticed, let me just line it up here. You can see these covers on every button here. They're very flimsy. And you can almost see when I press that one, look how deformed and just awkward it looks. But it works, okay? And that's all that matters to me, right? When I'm flying in the sim and I'm using my peripherals, I'm not paying attention to the symmetry of all these buttons. I really could care less. To me, I'm more so worried about if I use this for a year, nonstop, every single day or every weekend, would these buttons hold up and live up to the expectation? Furthermore, I've noticed that these 3D printed coverings are loose. So let me show you. So when I first unboxed it, I flipped the panel over and this thing fell out just like that for the APU fire. So it's, again, not a big deal because the overhead panel will rest facing up. But if you're going to be purchasing a VESA mount and you're going to have it kind of suspended at an angle overhead, you might want to consider the fact that these will probably get loose over time, and you'll have to figure out some type of temporary solution or permanent, whether that's a little bit of Loctite or crazy glue around this plastic cover. You figure it out. You guys come up with your own solutions. For now, for me, I'm not going to be mounting it with any VESA mount. I'm only going to be keeping it on that included mount. But other than that, guys, not much really here to cover. Again, you can hear the clicks. They do feel good, very crisp. There's no loose knobs at all. I'm trying to pull on them to see if they're loose. Oh, there goes one, but I did it on purpose, obviously. So again, very abnormal for me to be pulling on them. You don't need to pull these and then rotate. You just rotate into position, press whatever you need to press. Look at that, that button got stuck. So yeah, that could be a problem. That would definitely annoy me, like especially with the battery buttons, the APU bleed, all the common buttons that you find yourself using in any standard Airbus aircraft. So guys, what do you think? We're going to jump into the sim here shortly and show you how this thing functions. But for right now, I think this covers the unboxing portion just nicely. And I apologize, I have been using my iPhone 15 Pro, I believe, to whatever this model is, to do all of my B-roll and stuff. Unfortunately, my camera equipment is down for the time and I'm in the process of upgrading. So this is the best that I could come up with. All right, guys, so let's jump into the sim and see what we can get.
All right, folks, now that we've covered the unboxing of the Rowsfire A107 Overhead Panel, Here is that application, MobiFlight. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what MobiFlight is, in layman's terms, it allows you to configure peripherals such as this overhead panel and other hardware like from WinWing, WingFlex, insert name here, and you can customize what every button does assigned to a specific aircraft. Now, like I mentioned, when you scan the QR code that Rowsfire includes, you'll get a folder that you can download, which looks like this. So I'm going to open this window. Hopefully you guys can see that. And you can see we've got all kinds of MCC files, right? That's the format that MobiFlight reads. And so what you want to do is find the correct file. So right now we are in the Phoenix A320. We are using the A107. And as you can see, we've got various peripherals here that Rowsfire offers. So in this instance, I've selected the Rowsfire A107 V2.0 Phoenix A320 mini overhead panel. I've already opened it. And check it out. Look at the bottom. Connected devices. There's a green check. SIM status is connected. And it even knows what aircraft you selected. In this instance, the Phoenix A320 with the IAE 2500 engines with the sharklets. So now all you have to do, if you haven't already opened the file, or if you already did, just like me, you just press run. And you'll hear everything come to life, okay? So now I'm going to set up my camera on the side here to show you what it looks like on the sim. All right, folks, so here we are checking out the cold and dark cockpit. Once again, I'm going to do that pressing of run on MobiFlight, and I want you guys to take a look over here at the panel and see what happens as we do that. So here we go. We're going to press run, and now we should see that panel come to life. There we go. So we've got some lights on. Now, let's go ahead and connect the external power and show you what happens at this point. So stand by. Here we go. We're going to turn on the batteries first. Battery 1, battery 2. You can hear everything clicking, all those LRUs and avionics powering on. Okay, now let's connect external power. Okay, let's try it again. There we go. It was off. You can hear all those avionics, cooling fans, and everything firing up. There we go. You can see the battery voltage. Battery 1, 27.3. Battery 2, 27.4. While we're here, we can do a quick test of the engine 1 fire, APU fire, engine 2 fire. You see the overhead panel illuminates accordingly. Now it looks like this fire button is depressed. There we go. Or there we go. It was actually popped out. So now it is depressed. We are all good. We can go through. We can cycle our nav light. There we go. Nav 2 and logo. Nav 1. Taxi light. Here's your seatbelt signs. No smoking. Go into auto. And then we can arm the emergency exit lights. You've got overhead integrated lighting. So if you wanted to do that, you can just turn the dial. Now, right now it is daytime as I'm recording and I've got a light. But if you can just pay attention closely, you can just see the integrated lighting there turning on in the background. So it is very, very nice. We can go ahead and set our ADIRS to nav. There we go. Oxygen crew supply. Turn that on. We can press the call button. So satisfying. You can see the faults right now for both packs. You can turn them off, keep them on, and that's because we don't have the APU supplying bleed air right now. Let's see what the APU bleed is on. Let's go ahead and press the APU master switch. Give it a second there. And then press start. And now, while that thing is firing up, you can see we've got various other buttons here. We've got the TCAS, which you can just go ahead and go from standby to traffic alerts and traffic alert resolution advisory. You've got your wiper switch over here. So if I turn it, you can see it on the captain's side turning on. So pretty straightforward, guys. And I'm not going to go into the flying phase. I just wanted to show you how compact this is. Now, you can see, just like I mentioned on the unboxing portion, you can tell this is a demo model that they sent us, and that's perfectly fine. I get it, right? They're not going to send us a brand new item for us to review. This has probably been demoed by various peoples at this point, and that is fine with me. I get it. So I'm not going to fault them too much, but you can definitely see the quality is somewhat, it's questionable at times, right? And again, keep in mind, I'm just inferring that this is a demo product more than likely. But other than that, this is pretty easy, pretty straightforward to use. I hope you guys can get an idea of what you get when you purchase the Rowsfire A107. Your experience may vary. Now, one thing I want to check is I'm going to go ahead inside to the sim and do the annunciator test switch and see what happens. There you go. You can see all the faults are illuminated. Everything is showing nicely lit. I do like that. I'm going to go back to bright, and you see they return to normal. But guys, that's pretty much the bottom line with this video. I don't think there's much more to really cover. I just wanted to show you once again what the Rowsfire A107 is capable of doing for you in one small package, and it's very simple, very practical to use, and I like how I can have it on my desktop here and I don't feel like it's occupying too much room. It's just off to the side. If I wanted to, I can grab my WingFlex FCU and EFIS cubes, as well as the RMP and all the other modules we've got, and we can have a full Airbus friendly cockpit right here at the reach of my fingertips. Just below it, I've got my Honeycomb Bravo with the Airbus A320 mod handles from Flight Sim Factory. And again, you can have a full functioning Airbus cockpit where you would reduce the amount of clicking and stuff you have to do. So now, guys, I'm going to let you come up with your own ideas and suggestions. If you guys want to see more content showing the ease of use here with the Rowsfire A107, let me know in the comments. Again, I just don't think it's worth it going too much more into detail. This shows you exactly what you get right out of the box. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. This is Captain Gonzo with That Flight Sim channel, and we'll see you on the next one.